I'm Rachel Maag, and I am going to talk about Kohl's Corporation today for Lesson Plan 2 in MT6300. And to just give an overview of what I'll be talking about today, I'll be talking about an overview of Kohl's Corporation, giving a brief history and description of the organization and the products they have, the size of the company, and their competition. An explanation of Kohl's competitive advantage and what that is, and also talking about Kohl's competitive advantage as it relates to human resources, and then talking about Kohl's competitive advantage in at least one area in the human resource department where they can improve, and then, of course, going over a conclusion. So just an overview of Kohl's. I chose Kohl's Corporation because I live in the Milwaukee area, and Kohl's is a Wisconsin-based company which started at a corner grocery store in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1927 by Maxwell Kohl. And it is still here. Their corporate headquarters are still in the Milwaukee area and, in fact, in Menominee Falls, so very close to my home. So just something I wanted to learn a little bit more about Kohl's, and I really think they have a great, so wanted to learn a little bit more about that and talk a little bit more about Kohl's. So first of all, going over what Kohl's is, and so they are a retail department store which includes clothing, jewelry, baby products, furniture, home appliances, toys, cosmetics, housewares, and specialize in private and national brands such as Simply Vera Wang, Food Network, Nike, and Columbia, which are some of their national brands, and then they do have their private owned brands that they create, both in the clothing area and in baby clothing, in different areas there. They do operate more than 1,100 stores across 49 states. They have over 140,000 employees total. They generate an annual sales of approximately $19 billion. Their mission statement is to be the leading family-focused, value-oriented, specialty department store operating quality, inclusive, and national brand merchandise to the customer in an environment that is convenient, friendly, and exciting. And their purpose and values are to inspire and empower families to lead fulfilled lives. And I found that Kohl's really follows that both in their what they portray out to their customers and internally as well. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Some of their competitors and other department stores and other discount stores, such as JCPenney's, TJ Maxx, Marshall's Home Goods, those are all TJ Maxx companies. Target Corporation, Macy's, and then Bon-Ton stores, which are also known as like Yonkers, Boston stores, those Herbergers. So those are some of their competitors. So next I'm going to talk about Kohl's competitive advantage and what that is. So competitive advantage is just having an advantage over maybe your competitors in some things that you do differently or better, all the way from the products you have on the shelf to how you do marketing. So competitive advantage could be in different areas. So the one thing here that I really realized with Kohl's is that they have very experienced management, and I really believe that that's a high competitive advantage for them. Their CEO, Kevin Mansell, has been in position since August 2008. So going on 10 years, that is, a testament, I think, to their leadership and who Kohl's is. And the CAO, which is the Chief Administrative Officer, which is over the Human Resource Department, is Richard Shep, and he has worked at Kohl's since 2000. So, going on 18 years. Again, I think that's a true testament to the leadership, and especially in this course, we're going to talk about human resources. So, really wanted to focus on his position as well, and he has a legal background and heads up the human resource department along with the legal department, which I think is a great avenue in doing some research, finding that sometimes it's better to have folks that aren't necessarily just human resource related. To be overseeing that department to help in growth and strategic planning, and then to have the people that work underneath that really have the human resource knowledge and how to grow the company as far as human resources. So I think Kohl's has something really going there as far as their management and in their leadership. They do have a loyalty program, which I think is a competitive advantage over other companies. I know me as a shopper of Kohl's and customer, that a loyalty program to me as a shopper gives me more incentive to go there and shop. A loyalty program is some kind of perks to give back. So whether you get points for your purchase, Kohl's also has Kohl's Cash, so they give you for so much you purchase. You get Kohl's Cash at different times throughout the year. They do that, so you get money back to use in the store. And then I think ease of shopping experience is a huge competitive advantage, especially in the world that we live in today. And Kohl's, they really are striving to be an omni-channel retail store, which omni-channel is having multiple channels, whether people are shopping on their tablets, on their mobile, in the store, or on their computers. So I think the ease of the shopping experience is huge and a huge competitive advantage, which you can shop at the store, you can buy online and pick it up in the store. You can have the capacity to ship to the store and get it there, which I know I like to do that sometimes too. Then I can, take a look at it. If it doesn't work, I can return it right away. Um, the mobile app, which is huge. Again, you have your loyalty program on that mobile app, digital wallet, being able to pay right there from your wallet on your phone or device, and Kohl's Pay. So a different shopping experience to make it as easy as it can be for the shopper, and really, again, really promoting that omni-channel experience for their shoppers, which I think is huge. Their corporate responsibility, I really think that corporate responsibility is huge for an employer. Corporate responsibility is giving back to the company and giving back to the areas that the company is in. So giving back to the community, which Kohl's really tries to be dedicated in giving back to the communities through their volunteer programs and their just hometown commitment. So wherever their Kohl's store is, whether it's here in Milwaukee or on the East Coast, West Coast, down in Texas, they really try to be connected to that hometown and connected to the different things. And I think you see that as far as Kohl's too, that they do sponsor a lot of different events or sponsor different things going on. And then also, have volunteering and give back to the communities in those ways, which I think is huge both for the community that the company is in and for the employees to know that those employees feel connected and that they're giving back and have a bigger purpose just than a job or a position that they work in. So I think that's a huge competitive advantage for them as well. And then, of course, their quality products. Kohl's really strives to have quality products in their stores, along with quality folks that work there, associates that are uh, provide high customer service. So I think that is really important and both a huge competitive advantage for Kohl's as well. Kohl's competitive advantage in human resources and what that looks like. So one, just going through and researching about Kohl's, it looks like they have a really, really great culture. And I've also, since I live in the area, I don't work at Kohl's myself or never have. I've just been a shopper there, but I have talked with other folks that have worked at Kohl's corporate, and they enjoy it. They've been there for a long time. There's a lot of longevity there. There's daycare on site at Kohl's Corporate, and they just really um, feel like they want to give back to those employees, um, whether it's at a retail store or at the corporate location. And I think the culture is huge with that. And that really strives from the human resource department, that culture and creating a great place and environment for people to work. In their culture, it is really driven from the human resource department. They put customers first, act with integrity, build great teams, and drive results. Those are their four pillars under their culture umbrella that they really strive to have. And I think that that is huge and very important within the company. And they really stress that to all of their employees, so that they're all working under that same expectation as far as what that culture should be within their retail stores and also within their corporate area. A total rewards, that's something that includes under the benefits umbrella as far as human resource goes, but they really call it total rewards because it's including all sorts of different things. So, taken right from their website, this is their total rewards, including their health, which is pursuing a good health so you can do things you love at home and on the job. And I think that that's important that they talk about at home and on the job, knowing that they're not just taking care of their employees while they're at the job, but as a whole and at home and with their families. Financial, they have different financial planning systems at Kohl's to help people be financially successful and increase their confidence long term. In the community, again, we talked about the corporate responsibility, but also being active and engaged in the community. That's something important that they really, again, stress for their employees and encourage them to do. Um, the career, growing and achieving greatness through the work they do every day. And really, any employee at Kohl's really calling that a career and coaching their employees to do that career great every day. And social developing positive relationship with those around you, including both staff and associates. And again, that's their total rewards. And again, I think that that's a huge competitive advantage that they really have that listed out and that it is something that they talk about and discuss. So employees really know what the expectations are and that they have something to strive for as well. Another great thing that I believe is a huge competitive advantage for Kohl's is their career avenues. They really talk about their talent development and that their leadership development program. And 70% of Kohl's leadership roles at Kohl's were filled internally, which I think is huge, showing that they have a great leadership development program, a great talent development, that they really strive to keep those folks there and help them with those career avenues to grow as a company, because that's not only important as an employee but also for the company to have long-term employees and have retention of employees. That's really something that companies want to strive for, because you don't want to continue to keep training people in those positions. And then I think another huge competitive advantage is their internship program at Kohl's. In 2016, Kohl's brought on more than 500 college students to bring in new ideas and innovation. That was their first real big push in their internship program, and it served great for them. They hired them back into different positions, from strategic development, associates at the stores, and management positions, human resources, logistics. And of those 500 college students that they brought on at that time, they hired 60% of those interns. So I think that's huge. Again, as a college student and also as the company, that they're growing these people, young folks, and chances are that, they're going to stay with that company longer. And then over the last 6 years, Kohl's has hired 700 or 975 interns. So that is a large number of interns. So I think that again shows that their internship program is great, and that they really strive to hire successful folks within their company. And again, I think our internship program is a huge competitive advantage because a lot of companies don't take the time and resources to do that. And because it is expensive to bring on people that aren't trained or don't have experience, so I think that's a huge competitive advantage for Kohl's in the long run, that they can bring on those interns and keep them as employees. The next thing I'm going to talk about is improvements to the competitive advantage. So I think this is something that all companies want to improve on. So looking at Kohl's, one thing is I think they can continue to improve their strategic planning, both in recruiting and planning. So making sure that they're always recruiting individuals, keeping their talent network up to date, and making sure that they're doing recruiting events and really talking to those people that want to work at Kohl's and why do they want to work there. So they can help coach them or find them into the right position at Kohl's. So I think that strategic planning and just making that an everyday occurrence within the company can really help them improve their competitive advantage. And then I think compensation. This is always something that is brought up because it's important to um, employees. They want to be well compensated, and they don't. You don't want to have employees leave because your competitors are paying them more. Um, so, having a good, sound compensation structure can increase the organization's appeal to employees and give it the competitive advantage from an employee retention perspective. So, again, having good compensation and benefits can really keep those people, um, those staff, so they're not going to competitors for jobs. So those are things that I think that Kohl's can continue to improve on with their competitive advantage. So in conclusion, you know, looking at Kohl's as a whole as their company, both on their company side and in their human resources, that I really think Kohl's has a great company and they have a lot of great competitive advantages over their competitors. They have a great leadership that has been in place for many years. And I think that that is huge to the success of the company. And in fact, this January 2018, Kevin Mansell, the CEO and president, just delivered a keynote address on how Kohl's is putting customers first at the ICR uh, conference, which is an annual investment conference, huge conference that hundreds of industry analysts and investors attend. Uh, and Kevin shared business updates, outlined progress on Kohl's company, how they're driving traffic and exceptional experiences. Um, so I think that that really shows that not only internally is Kohl's have great leadership, but other folks view that leadership successful as well, and look for their resources and look for their advice to help other companies grow. So I think that that's huge within the Kohl's Corporation, to continue to stay cutting edge and what they're doing. And again, focusing on strategic planning and compensation should always be at the forefront of any company, and including Kohl's. So I think that is huge. And in conclusion, again, I think Kohl's really has a great company, and great things that they do both for their customers and both for their employers or employees. So I think that, in conclusion, uh, Kohl's has great competitive advantage and will continue to grow and see those competitive advantages from Kohl's in the future. And here's my reference page. Everything can be referenced from the Kohl's Corporation website at this login here. Thanks and have a great day.